So here we are at 7 years into the Switch's life, and I'm still playing this thing constantly. Right now I'm playing Unicorn Overlord. It's like this Fire Emblem strategy kind of game. But I also have the Apollo Justice Collection to play, and then there's like a few more games coming out still. And like my PS5 is over here just collecting dust. Like the only PS5 game I bought this year was Persona 3 Reload, which, to be fair, very good video game, but it's the only one that I have played on PS5 this year. I'm like, in terms of games that are coming out, there's like Astrobot. That's it. You really think I'm playing Concord? If I wanted to play a shitty Overwatch clone, I would just play Overwatch. And you know, like, I'm also like playing PC a lot, just because Steam is making it ever more attractive to be, like, as a gaming platform. They just introduced this thing called family sharing, where you can just straight up share the games you've bought with your friends. Like, if you have one copy of the game in your Steam library, and like your, like, family library, that means that any of you can just play this game whenever. Now, only one of you can play at a time, so, like, if there's, like, a multiplayer game, you all have to buy the game separately so you can all play together, but, like, for single-player games, it's overpowered. Like, if you don't mind, like, having to wait your turn, like, oh, it's so good. Like, in a time where, like, everything just keeps getting worse, and, like, every company is trying to squeeze, like, every single last penny out of you, Valve's over here, like, introducing, like, the most consumer-friendly feature ever crafted by mortal hands, and it's just like, it's just insane that this is allowed to legally exist. Like, you might as well abuse it while you can, because I'm not sure how long it'll take before publishers are just like, you know what, this is stupid, we're gonna opt out of this. And you know, like, back to the main topic, like, it feels like Nintendo has been playing like 4D chess ever since the Wii days. Like, the GameCube was really good, but like it didn't really like offer anything unique that the PS2 didn't already offer. You know, with like PS3 and 360 getting more powerful, and like development cycles getting like bigger and bigger, they were just like, you know what, let's do something else. Motion controls. I don't know, they kind of cemented themselves as like the weirdos that do whatever they want, like really early on. And now when you see that they're making like a handheld that also functions like a console, it's like, yeah, this is something Nintendo would definitely make. Like even in like the Wii days, it seemed like they understood where the industry was going, and that like pushing for more and more power is just a losing battle in the long run. Because while the consoles keep getting better, the handhelds keep getting better too. And like they will eventually become a point where handhelds are just good enough to play most games, so, which is like where we're at right now. It's kind of weird how that in like PlayStation advertisements, it's just like, this is only possible on PlayStation 5, and then you see it get ported to Steam Deck like 2 years later, and it just runs fine on there. Despite obviously being way less powerful. Like even with like the Wii U, they saw this idea with the Switch, but like they knew the hardware wasn't there yet, so they just went a different direction with it, just to like kind of see how this kind of thing would even like be to people. Yeah, you can like play this without the TV. Wow. But wouldn't that be great if you could just take it anywhere? Look at this. That's what the Switch is. And like, despite the fact that its competition right now is the most powerful consoles known to man, it's insane to me that like the Switch is like this underpowered tablet with like 2016 hardware, and like it's still way more fun to play than those other consoles, because it just seems like it has better games. That's it. That's like the only reason. Like, the development cycles are getting longer, and like games are getting more expensive, and then they're over here just essentially making Xbox 360 games, and it's just so much more fun. Like, everything just feels a lot more focused. They don't have like a bajillion different features in an attempt to appeal to everyone, but then just makes it like unsatisfying for everyone to play. It's just like, I don't know, man. We could put crafting into Splatoon, but like, does it actually need it? Like, crafting an open world in like Squid Game? No. I mean, it definitely does help that like I'm mostly playing indie games aside from the Nintendo stuff, because like AAA games just kind of blend together at this point. Like, I'm not even like following it that closely anymore because like, what am I even playing? I'm actually trying to come up with like true AAA games that came out this year, but like I can't really think of any. I don't know, does Yakuza count? Not really. I think that's more like AA. Like, I mean, like AA games are pretty good right now. Although they're not, like, there's not really like a ton of them, which is weird because like I would classify a lot of like Nintendo games as like AA games, and they are very good for the most part. I don't get me wrong, but like there's some like good AAA games that come out every now and then, but like most of it just kind of feels like a padded out slop. Like, you know, like at least on average. Because like the thing is, I'm actually trying to like come up with like examples right now, but like it's just like my brain has like just forgotten about them, just pushed them aside. They're not important. There's like Assassin's Creed or like Far Cry or like Call of Duty or like whatever, but like I don't know. I don't know much about them because I haven't played them because I'm just not interested in them. Like Assassin's Creed games were just like stupidly long at this point. It's just like, why? Why do they need to be so long? Why can't they be like 8 to 10 hours? Like, why are 8 to 10 hour games considered too short now? Like, that's like an average length. Why do games keep getting longer? What's the point? Like, I played Animal Well. That was like 6 hours for like the main game. That was fun. Like, what's wrong with a game only being like 6 hours long? Like, there's nothing wrong with that, honestly. You know what? I just now thought of a single AAA game that came out. Stellar Blade. I hear that's actually pretty good, but I haven't played it. I completely forgot about it. I don't know, like that's another thing. It just feels like with Nintendo games, you just kind of know they're coming out. But with like PlayStation games, I'm pretty sure Stellar Blade is like a first-party Sony game, right? Or like at least published by them, whatever, you know what I mean? Oh no, I forgot it came out. It just kind of happened, and then people stopped talking about it after a week. But then like Paper Mario 1000 Year Door was just like, everyone, I'm telling you to buy this right now. I'm holding you at gunpoint. Buy it. Play it right now, or I will commit bank robbing. I don't know. A lot of AAA games just seem to be made for people that don't normally play video games, so they just kind of get ignored by the people who make videos about video games, like me. I don't know, like, am I even going anywhere with this at this point? I don't really know. But, like, the thing is, it's just that, like, Switch keeps releasing so many good games, and it's just like, here I am, still playing this thing, instead of the $500 expensive console that is super powerful and is therefore supposed to be better. But I just keep coming back to Switch instead, because the games on it are actually good, and release within a reasonable time frame. And, like, there's a lot of different games to play on it, like Mario & Luigi Brothership is an RPG. There's, like, platformers and strategy games and shooters. Like, there's just a lot more than just the weirdly specific category of Sony cinematic game, which, you know, is all fine and good, but when it's the only thing you make, it just gets kind of boring after a while. I'm actually pretty excited to see what Switch 2 has to offer, because, like, just Switch, but better hardware, that would be incredible, really. Like, it would just open up a lot more, like, possibilities. You know, like, we'd probably get a lot more, like, current-gen ports, because, like, honestly, if they can run on Series S, they can probably run on Switch 2 with a little more work, probably. Like, we don't actually know the specs of it or anything, but I think it's safe to say that if it can run on Steam Deck, it can probably run on Switch 2. So Cyberpunk. Not that I even care about that game that much. I have not played it. Maybe I will at some point. Steam family share is overpowered. Because, like, while I'm looking forward to Switch 2, like, the eventual, like, PS6 and, like, Series Z or whatever they call it, like, it always has me questioning if it needs to exist at all. Like, what new gameplay can we make on the theoretical next-gen systems that we can't do already? Like, if Breath of the Wild is possible on like a crappy tablet from 2016. Like, why can't you do that on PS5 and Series X? And then there's like Elden Ring that ran on PS4 and Xbox One. Like, it seems like the most critically acclaimed games also run on last-gen hardware. And like, it's just hard to really think of any new gameplay possibilities that come with the better hardware now. Like, it's just better graphics, I guess, which is also getting lower and lower of a difference like each generation. And people are even arguing that like we haven't even like seen the true next gen experience yet, because like most of the stuff was made for like PS4 but then like ported to PS5. Like, I don't know, I feel like that in and of itself is a problem. Like 4 years in and like it's still like a PS4 but better, I guess. Like, not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but like when current AAA developers aren't developing for the current system in mind, they're developing for the theoretical next system instead. Like, you gotta do something to like cut back on like development times, you know? Why are we developing for a system that doesn't exist yet? Like, I don't know, man. I'm coming back around to finishing what I'm talking about, I guess. Like, does this rant have a point? I don't know. Point is, Nintendo Switch good. Like, comment, and subscribe.